So we'll start now the 41st Mamer in Shir Hashirim. This is actually based on a piece of Gemara, and the Alter Rebbe is going to explain, according to Hasidus, the Gemara in Ksubas, which discusses the Keitzad Meragdim Lifnei Hakala. Tana Rabbanon, we learned in a Braisa, Keitzad Meragdim Lifnei Hakala. How do we dance before the Kala? The Alter Rebbe is going to explain Kala is the lashon of kiloyin, kol sonafshi, to expire. And the question is, how do we get to the level of expiring before Hashem? Keitzad meragdim lifnei hakala. And there is the two opinions. Beishamai oimrim kala k'moshehi. Literally, it means you don't exaggerate. You don't say praises for the kala which she is not deserving of. That means kala k'moshehi. The Alter Rebbe will explain that according to the halacha, that's how much we get milmailo. That's the opinion of Bishamai. Ubeis Hillel oimrim kala no v'chasuda. But Beis Hillel say, no, you will say a beautiful kala and a chasuda. A chasuda, as the Alter Rebbe will explain later on, that she has grace, the level of grace. She has become the level, she has received the level of chesed milmailo. Because, as the Alter Rebbe explains later on, according to Beis Shammai, the level of klois hanefesh that you get depends on your isarusa deletato. But Beis Hillel hold that first we get a hamshacha milmailo in order to elevate us above. So let's look inside. Hine kalo hu bechinas kol sonafshi. Kalo is the level my soul expired. The hainu, what does it mean my soul expired? Bechinas klois hanefesh sheyesh b'chol nitzus neshamas Yisrael. There is a expiration of the soul, expire, to go out. Each spark of the souls of Israel, that means the spark that we have, the neshama, has the ability or has that level in which it wants to expire to Hashem, likolel v'lidovek b'Hashem yisborech, to be included and to be cleaving, connecting to the blessed Hashem. Ba'avazu yeshno bahem b'tmidis. This love, that klois hanefesh, that kala, is always by them. U'kamesha kosva, the pasuk says, the man is a merchach chavid, so that we will sing for you glory. And the pasuk continues, v'loi yidoi. And the Zohar says about this, that kori todir v'loi shachich, you're always calling out to Hashem, and you don't silence. So that means that every neshama has that inside, in that spark of the neshama, to always love and want to connect to Hashem, constantly calling and leishach. Even if people of lesser value, as Ame Ha'oretz, the Oivre Aveda, the plain, the people of the land, the people who violate, still Yesh Bohem Bechinas Avezu, they still have that love. That spark of the neshama has that love. So if they have that love all the time, that it's there, so how come they do Averis? It is not felt in their soul in an open way. They don't feel they have that love is there, but they don't feel it. I am black, so he says, Eish Shochad, the black fire shu inyan sha'aba mesuteres. The black fire means that that fire is black, meaning that it's hidden, it's not open, it's not revealed, it's obscure. It's in a way that it surrounds from above. And as we say in the Gemara, the Gemara brings down in Daniel that they got frightened. So how did they get frightened when they didn't see? Because they didn't see what their mazel saw. So there is a level of makif, the level of mazel, which sometimes sees things, and that is where that level of the spark of the neshama, that there is a constant connection to Hashem, is base. So number 2, but in order to bring out this love, which is called the kala over here, from obscurity to reveal, so that it should shine in their soul openly. That's why our rabbis of blessed memory asked, kիצד מרקדין חולו. How do you bring out, how do we dance? It's going to touch later on the word מרקדין especially. But the issue is here, how do you bring that klois hanefesh, which is within the soul already, how do you bring it out into the open? Amru Beishamai, so what does Beishamai say? Kimoishihi, as is chulu. Now, Beishamai, as it is, because Beishamai come from the level of Gvuris. Since Beishamai is rooted from the level of the supreme Gvuris of above, Al-Kain, and that's why Nikra Shammai, that's why it's called Shammai. The name Shammai is also based on the fact that it's Gvuris. Is ki inyan shenemar chavrazal al posik v'som derech chulu. It says the posik in Tilim v'som derech, so it says kol ha'som or chosom, that all of your ways are planned and measured and specific. Dahainu, which means to say sheshoykil drochav eich umahu. He weighs his ways, how and what it is. He's always evaluating and always measuring. That's the som derech, measuring. That's Shammai. What does this mean in the way? How do we bring down the level of kolso? What is Shammai's answer? He says, Hainu, it's all measured. Shalifi erech hasur meira, relative to the extent that you stay away from evil, kach yam shoch achar kach. That's the way you will have the later on the hamshocha from the level of kala, which is the klois hanefesh milamailo, that you get the inspiration to expire the soul that comes from above. V'zeu kala kamoshehi. This is the meaning of kala as is. Koloimar. Just as it is the elevation from below, according to whatever the elevation from below is. From the elevation is through the level of iskafia from surmeda. Imrav imvimat, whether it's a little or a lot, as much as you are surmeda, as much as you are iskafia. And then is that is the extent you will have, the extending the revelation of the klois hanefesh in your soul will be based upon how much your elevation. Some derech Shammai, everything exact, and it's k'moshi kosu b'dibra maschil v'shom aviyah v'hefer chulu. The second Mamer, discussing the idea of loisas and the words of the Sofrim Sheim Bechinas Iskafia. And it said, there will be through that a spirit from above will arouse him. And also the Nefesh Bahamis will be elevated. Ein Sham looking there. That's the response of Beis Shammai. Gimel. Aval Beis Hillel shorshim mibchinas hachasodim chelek al Beis Shammai. Beis Hillel, who is rooted in kindness and chesed, he disagrees on Beis Shammai. Shelo yiyam shachal lefi ha'alah. It's not going to be coming down. What's going to be extended from below is going to be based on the elevation. No, on the contrary. Ela adrabah. But on the contrary. First, there will be an extension from above to below. Then, therefore, all externalities which are not for Hashem will fall away. The Eibishter gives him a hamshacha milmayla to help him so that all the other stuff fall away on the wayside. That means the asay toiv, the do good, will be before the surmeira because he's gonna have that koyach milmayla for the kol achitzonim. A little bit of the light will push away lots of the darkness. Nikra Hillel, and that's why it's called Hillel. Meloshin behiloi neiroi al roshi, which is a pasuk in Eiv, meaning the shine of his lamp is on my head. Basically, that you have the shine, you have the Eibishter's hamshocha to help you, that you should be able to fight your battles, and so that the chitzonim drop out automatically. Gam Hillel, also Hillel is Meloshen Shevach v'Hillel. It's also, Hillel comes from the language of praise and the Eibishter's greatness, to praise Hashem and to exalt Hashem. So, because that's the way Hillel says things, but the Hainu, what does it mean? Through the praises, which means in the reflection of the greatness of Hashem, so the Ra falls away automatically by itself. So when you have the Hillel, you have the praise and the light of Hashem, that is through the Hisbonenus, the meditation, the reflection on the greatness of Hashem, then the evil falls away by itself. Of the Mamer Gabe Yatzmiach Tzedoko Utihilo. So this is also what the pasuk says: Moshcheni acharecha narutza. You pull me, and then we'll run after you. Humimato l'maylo. Below, we are going to run after Hashem if He's going to pull us. Behind First, He pulls us from above to above. The Eibishter gives us a pull. So then automatically, then we'll follow you. So first, it comes from the Eibishter. That's what Hillel says. A beautiful and a chasuda. Chasuda, the Alter Rebbe translate, is not a description of that she's kind, but a chasuda means that she receives from the level of ches, from kindness, from Hashem, el mailo, the mashcheni. Chasuda huloshin nifal, that has been done. Ki yadua lemedagdikim, as it's known to those who are particular, shechosid v'chasido. When we say chosid and chasido, hushem hatoyach, that's a describing the chosid or the chasido for the women or for the men is a chosid. Avol chasuda b'malupim, but when you have a malup, a chasudo, not chasido, but malupim, hushem hanifo. That is a name that has been made up the Hainu Shenasis Chasuda, that she became Chasuda al Yidei Chesed Elyon Milmailo Lamato, through the supreme kindness from above to below, Liyos Gilu Elokus, that there should be revealed godliness. Azai Memela Yipel Hara. So then automatically the Ra falls away. And then there will be the revelation of the expiration of the soul, and the expiration of the soul, and the soul, he'll be revealed, that it should be a beautiful color. Through the chasuda, she becomes a kala noah, through damshach malmailo. Or as the pasuk says, Yisrael asher b'cho espoir. I'll be proud of you. The Abraham says, I will praise myself with you, with the Jewish people. So now, the Beis Hillel further say, everybody, you say, Kala Noah Chasuda, he says, Vafilu chigeres, vafilu suma, even if she's limping, even if she's blind, you still say beautiful. Why? How could we do that? Because the Kamei Shova Mashve. Before Hashem, everybody's equal. He levels everybody out to the same place. As we say in Tzedak T'chulu, if you are righteous, it says in here, what do you give Hashem? In other words, that's a level, when we talk about Kamei, it doesn't make a difference. So you're a Chigeres, a Suma, or you're a Tzaddik, it doesn't make a difference. It says, Oz Yidali Ka'ayil Pesach, that he will jump over. I mean, not considering the level. V'ayim hashekosuf mizeh b'dibur hamaschil beirastich li, and b'zehu shekosuf, over that Mamer. B'zehu shekosuf chesed elyon bal yimet, the kindness of above, so that he does not falter. Chesed elyon bal yimet. So, which means when there is a revelation of the kindness from above to below, then automatically the Ra gets pushed away, and it would be as it never was. Bechinas ha'ava, and the level of Ava will be Tkua Beliboy Kiyosid Baltimate. It will be like a peg that will never falter, doesn't move, sticks in there. The Chesed Elyon will be in a way that doesn't move. That is through the Eibishter's Chesed Elyon. Bal Yimei. When it gets Dam Shocha B'Lamailo, it stays and it doesn't move. Ba'ayim Hashekosov Dibra Maschil Im B'Chukoysa Hasheni. In second Mamer, Shekedei Liyos Bechinas Chakikus Benefesh, in order that it should be ingrained in the soul, this level, that needs Chakiko from inside the outside. You need to engrave it from the inside the outside, the soul, in order to engrave the love of Hashem, that level of chesed, inside the outside. That is through the Psucha de Zimro. Shenikra Hilul. That is called Hilul, as we say in the pasuk. The exaltness of Hashem is in their throat, that is to praise Hashem. By the Kima mitzvahs, and through the observance of mitzvahs. So according to Beis Hillel, you have first the level of Abba, you have the Amshocha, and then that brings you to the elevation. But as opposed to the words of Shammai, you have to first stay away. You don't get anything from above. You have to stay away from bad on your own. But that cannot be completely. A person doesn't have the ability on his own to be totally. That's why they say that's a kala as is. They don't say even a chigeres v'suba. If you're a chigeres v'suba, if you don't create that, then it's not going to happen. And then in the Gemara over there, Divrei B'Shamai, and the words of B'Shamai. B'Shamai says, B'dvar sheker tirchak. He says, how could you say such a praise when it's not true? He says, how could you say Akala K'Mashiach? Utshuvas Beis Hillel, and then what is the response of Beis Hillel? That he says you buy a item in the street, do you praise it? Do you tell your friend that it's good or bad? So that's similar to what's written in Rabbi's Parshas Ches, Be'inyan Chesed ve'emes. It says that Hashem asked both kindness and truth. Should He create the world? Chesed oimer yiboreh. Chesed said, create the world. Why? Shekulim malach chesodim. Because it's full of kindness, even though it's not completely true. Ein sham. So it doesn't matter that it's not 100% the truth. As the saying of our sage of blessed memory, that you start not for the sake of Hashem, and you come to the sake of Hashem. So it's okay. It's not midvar sheker tirchak. It's okay to start off not completely, fully engaged, but that's okay. Ach mashekosu keitzad meragdim. So why Mashoimer? Why does it say how do you dance? We're trying to say how are you mamshich? The level of kol sanafshi, whether Beishamai or Beisilel, Gevuras Chasodim, whether you first have the Aliyah Milmailog, you have to have like Beishamai says, and that's you get exactly what you are elevated, or Beisilel says you get Milmailog and automatically falls away. The question is keitzad meragdim. Inyan zeh. This idea is that the question is Mahu ha'inyan hush shekidei liyis isabrus choson v'kala. What is the aspect that brings together the connection of the choson v'kala shehem shnei hafchim menagdim zeh lezeh? There are two opposites. They oppose each other, a choson and a kala, and here we're bringing them together. Why are they opposition? The choson represents the extending from above to below. Like water that descends from a high place, water always runs down. Why is that? Kihu b'chinas mashpia, because the choson is the level of mashpia. Shemashpia milmaylo lamato, he gives from above to below. So he is the level of milmaylo lamato. V'hakalo, and the kalo b'chinas makabel mimato lamaylo. She is a recipient milmato lamaylo, from below to above. Kimavur li'il, as explained earlier. Shekalo, he calls on nafshi. That kala means the one that is that calls on nafshi. She expires, meaning she wants to go home. V'hu kedugmas ha'eish she'oile belahav gamke milmata l'mayla, and that's similar to the fire before the water comes down from above to below. But the kala, that is similar to the fire that goes up in a flame. So the problem is, and they are two opposites, the choson and the kala, just like fire and water. So to be the yichud choson kala, that's like our sages tell us on the pasuk of Oiseh Sholem Bimreimov. that Hashem makes peace in those who are above, between the Sar, the officer of water, and the Gabriel, Michal and Gabriel, the officer of fire. Hainu, how does he make peace? By bringing down an extension from a higher level than both of them. About through that they will be negated from their existence, from their entity. And they would be able to become together. Just looking if there's I don't see yeah, that was that. V'zeu gamkein kan, and the same thing takes place over here, just like we said by Yishashol B'Mreimov. It takes place here al dei chuppah. That takes place through the chuppah. Ki akol koved chuppah, for all the koved there is the chuppah. Hu bechinas hamshochas hamakifim elyonim. That's bringing down the upper makifim. Bechinas sevev kulalmin, from the level of sevev kulalmin. Al yidei zeh, through this, mischabrim achosna v'akala yachad, the chosna and the kala come together. V'zeu keitzad meragdim lifnei hakala. How do you dance before, ahead, on top of the kala? Pirush. Lifnei hakala, what does it mean? Before the kala is lemaila min hakala, meaning above the kala, which means the hainu hamshochas chinas sevu kulamim makifim elyonim, the level of makifim elyonim, the upper makifim. So how do you get to lifnei hakala? How is it extend? Keitzad, how do you bring it down? How do we dance? Dancing that comes down through dancing. Why dancing? You dance with the feet, which is level of maluklam. And through that, you bring down the makif di seviv kulam. By Mashakosov said Divra Maschil, Kol Doidi Beinian, Vedalig, Umkapets, Divra Maschil, the Hen Vesoimer. Kipnimis E Efsher Lahochit. You can only get in the Chitzonius, you can only get the makif and the external, because the inner they can't contain. So that's why you go out, you're dancing over there. In the feet, you bring down from the higher makif, and you go dancing because you cannot constrain yourself. That's why we give honor to the chosnu kala. You raise them, you lift them up, and you raise them. And to raise them to the level that surrounds the world. So you got to raise them to the higher level. And this is what the pasuk says, Tzadik Hashem b'chol drochav, that Hashem is righteous in all of his ways, is Shubechinas Ischabrus Sholem b'Pamalya Shalmailo. That's the level of connection, the Sholem in the heavenly economy. Explain what Rikud is be'inyan when the pasuk says Ha'orim rogdu cha'elim in the Mamer b'divra maschal yomrov ayonis u'be'inyan, and also in the pasuk of Os tismach besula b'mochel, and that's in the b'divra maschil in the Mamer b'yemashmini yisholach. So b'kitzer, the avoda, the way to be mamshich, Hillel says is meragdim lifnei hakala. You bring down through dancing to the regel. You bring down the Seviv Kol Almim, and Lifnei HaKalo, higher than the Kalo. And that comes through the Rikud, because we can't really contain it, and we get the Hamshocha Milmailo, and Mela Yiplu Spordu Korpelov, and that it happens automatically, as opposed to Gevuris. B'Shamai, he says you have to make the elevation. But according to Beis Hillel, it's Afilu Chigeres, Afilu Suma, meaning even the undeserving still, they're on this level.